So you might recall a few months ago, probably around 5 months ago, I got this watch, the Tudor P01. I bought it. I bought it basically off of eBay and went through the eBay verification process. It came on the standard strap that it comes on. This is the rubber sort of suede or brown suede strap. It's a very nice strap, very nice buckle, really nicely made. However, I wanted to change it up a little bit. And I've actually put it on this, which is, I believe they are called the 86th Leather Strap Company, and they make single pass-through NATOs. This is their perforated version, and I've been wearing it on this basically for the entire time that I have owned it. However, when I originally got the watch, I wore it for about a month on this. This is a Tudor bracelet. Now, I took this Tudor bracelet and I sort of dremeled it until it fit onto this case. And I'm going to go through exactly how I did that today. Before I do, this is the watch on a NATO strap. I have to say it is not very comfortable on a NATO strap. It's probably the least comfortable on a NATO strap, and there is a few reasons for that. Obviously, the lugs do articulate, so they move in. And when you're wearing it on your wrist, if the lugs are not flat, you're going to get the strap actually bunching up underneath your wrist. Let me show you what I'm talking about, and I'll throw it on my wrist very quickly. Before I do, today I am wearing another interesting watch. This is the Bulova Millships. This is a limited edition that came out just a short while ago. Another weird watch that never actually went into production, just like this watch. So here it is on a NATO strap. So I have a 7.5 inch wrist. This NATO strap fits the actual fitted lugs that come with this watch. So in order to fit the bracelet, you need to take these off. Not the lugs itself, not the actual mechanism that turns the bezel or locks the bezel. You don't take that off. You just take off the other part. Now, I've seen other pictures and things on Instagram where people put a mesh bracelet on this watch. I think it looks good. However, I've tried that, and if you do it in person, it doesn't look as good, I have to tell you. It's weird because you have most mesh bracelets are in a polished, and even if it's not in a polished, it just doesn't mesh well, no pun intended, with the actual case finish. That's why I wanted to get a Tudor bracelet and try it out. Now, it's an expensive thing to do, to just try out, but it did work. And we will show you that in just a second. So you can see what I'm saying. It's adding more sort of bolstering underneath each one of the lugs. So the strap is actually making the watch sit a little bit higher on your wrist. It's very comfortable. However, it is not as functional as the strap that it actually came on originally. I'm going to show it to you on the actual Tudor bracelet, like I said. And I'm going to explain to you exactly what I did. So you could see here, and I'll take this out of the photos just so that we can keep this focused. You could see that this is a regular Tudor bracelet. However, I don't have the end links on this side. And on this side, I not only don't have the end link, I don't have the first link in the actual bracelet. So you could see, if it's possible to see this from this distance, but maybe I could zoom in a little bit and take pictures. But you could see that this link right here, this top link, is actually missing on this side. So it does make it a little bit, I guess, lopsided, I would call it. So it's a little bit shorter on this side. It's longer on this side. That's just one of the, I guess, negatives of doing this. It's sort of similar to the way the actual strap is set up. If you look at the strap has the same exact setup. It's very, very short on one side, and it's very long on the other. That's just sort of the design of the watch, and it's the design of how they actually design the lugs. So I dremeled this link off on this side. It was pretty tough, and I didn't do a great job. I will show you pictures up close as well. And then also what I needed to do is I needed to actually drill out the hole on this side, because the hole would not accept a spring bar, because the spring bar was too wide, and the hole for the spring bar here, or what would be the hole for the spring bar, was too narrow. On this side, it was fine because there was an actual spring bar that would go in here because it would go through the actual milled end link and then attach to the case that way. So these right here, the new end links, let's call them, fit directly into the system that locks the bezel. So it's not fitting into the case, it fits into basically where these little end links fit right now. So what you do is you remove these two, and then you add this in. So you use the spring bar that's existing and then place this directly in here. Just very simple, as if you were putting another bracelet on a watch. You're removing the strap, and then you have very thin lugs rather than the normal 20 or 22 millimeters, whatever this is. You're not removing the actual mechanism at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that very quickly, and then I'm going to show it to you exactly on the watch. I'll take close-up pictures so you guys can see. I think it looks really good on the bracelet, but I'm going to show you some of the downfalls of putting it on a bracelet. There's one other thing I wanted to point out very quickly before I show you the watch on the bracelet. These are the end links, the ones that actually attach to the strap. This is what I was using with the NATO strap. It's what you use with the strap that comes on the watch, originally. So the OEM strap that it comes on. You can see that one end is longer than the other. Now, I don't know why this is part of the design. However, because of that, you have to have one end longer than the other on the bracelet. And that is the reason why I actually cut off that end link on one side and left the other side uncut. So you could see there is a longer link on this side. So let me get everything out of the frame here, and let's see if you could see the gap that I'm talking about. When you have it on your wrist, you're going to see a little bit of a gap. That's the gap right there. It's not that significant, but there is a gap between the case, the end link, and the actual case or mechanism that locks the bezel. That's because when you actually unlock the bezel, this will move down, and it needs that space to actually move down. So if you have it on the strap, you still will have that gap. The gap is not on the other side. You can see it fits pretty much flush against the case, or as flush as it can be. So it does wear a little bit weird on your wrist because of that. And let me show it to you on my wrist. So I have a 7.5 inch wrist. I believe this is a 40 millimeter watch. I don't remember. It's a 41 millimeter or 42 millimeter. I can't remember. But there it is. And it wears closer to your wrist on this bracelet. And here it is. I mean, I'm going to do video and I'll take some pictures of the end link so you guys can see. That's how it looks on your wrist. There is that gap. There is that gap that is present when you're wearing it on a bracelet, when you have the end links on there. But this is a Tudor bracelet. It's basically a Tudor bracelet for a Black Bay 41. So that's what you would need to do it. You need a Dremel, and then you need to be able to sort of not feel bad about dremeling a Tudor bracelet. And I did not do a very clean job, although you will not be able to see that when I have the watch on. In fact, you can't tell at all at what a terrible job my unsteady hand without the proper tools really did. I say without the proper tools. I have a vise, I have a Dremel, and that's basically what I used. However, I guess just because I'm not used to using a Dremel very often, it didn't come out perfect. It doesn't look like my cuts are very perfect on the back side of those links. Now, do I think it looks great on this bracelet? I really do. I think it looks really good on this bracelet. In fact, I think this is the way to wear it on a bracelet. I don't think wearing it with the end links and then the extra bracelet added onto the end link does not make sense to me. I think this is the way to do it if you are going to do it. And you just have to commit. You have to go out, buy a bracelet. Now, I didn't buy this bracelet. So this watch came with this bracelet, and I modified it myself because the person who actually owned this watch wanted to modify it and do this sort of modification. However, they didn't have the guts to do it or didn't get around to doing it, whatever it was. But I bought this watch for $2,500 on eBay. It was thereabout, and it came with this bracelet. and it's an authentic Tudor bracelet, which is really nice. And it's fitted to my wrist perfectly, and it looks really good, I think, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. I know a lot of people will either love or hate this mod. I think this looks a lot better on my wrist with a bracelet, in my opinion. But like I said, I'll do pictures and videos so you guys can get a real good look at it, and good look at what I did in the modification. So I'll take a picture of the end links and how they look and what I actually did. And if you have questions, do not hesitate. Ask below. I will answer all of your questions, excuse me, if you have any questions on how I actually did this. Not a problem. I really want to be completely transparent about how I did it and help others do it if they want to try and, you know, have a go at doing it. Again, I would recommend trying it on maybe a cheaper bracelet, maybe buying a cheap bracelet off of eBay that you could maybe Dremel and try and get it to fit this case, something that has the same lug width. I think it's like a 22mm lug width, and then remove those end links and then Dremel it and try and get it to fit this. And if you could do it, then purchase the Tudor bracelet. That would be my recommendation, something that I would have probably rather have done than actually take a first go at it with a Tudor bracelet. But anyway, that's it. Pretty simple. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. I would love to help anybody out who is trying to do this. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel. I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.